Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday. Hope you're all doing well. Well, it's good to come to you again this Saturday as we do here on Masterpiece. We don't only equip you with tools and resources, but we also want to empower you to know the things that will be beneficial for you, for your family, and the things that you're doing. So today we are going to be talking to some amazing people. Call it a panel, call it a group. It's amazing. Anyways, but I have two people who are in the same profession and another one in the similar, capacity that has been here with us before. So you know all the people, you've seen the flyer. If you haven't seen it, I am not going to spend too much time to talk about it, but I'm going to have you meet them, experience them, and then ask your questions. But by all means, I want you to send this link to someone, share it with someone, tell the person that you want to listen in, because healthy living is something that we talk about, but sometimes it's like, how do I do that? How do I get there? So we want to learn how we can get the practical steps, practical ways that we can do it. So are you ready? My name is Tina Grace, and I will be your facilitator today. So welcome in, and let's welcome our guest. If you're on, Dr. V, I see you. And Nanam, I see you as well. I see a few other people. Just say hello to us. Thank you, Dr. V from Florida, as usual. So, anyway, let's welcome our guest for today. I believe that we are going to learn a whole lot together. Are you here with me? Show them some love. Mr. Annette, you've met before, and Uncle Teddy has been with us as well. So Adultin is a new person that you're yet to meet, but every one of you is welcome, and I appreciate you taking the time today to be part of this conversation because I believe that you're, you know, talking about it, helping us from Ohio. Nanama, welcome. So talking about some of these are the things that will help us to now make some of these practical steps that we need to take to be healthy and to know that, there are other things that we can do every day. It's not as difficult as we thought or we are thinking it is. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I know all of you. A lot of people who are going to join may not know you, right? And I did introduce myself. I'm Tina. I host this conversation here on Masterpiece, and I try to bring all the good people around to tell us and help us understand the things we have to do. So let's introduce ourselves so that those who are joining and are yet to meet you also get to know you a little bit. So let's go, ladies first. Pastor Annette Day. Okay, who is Pastor Annette?
Hello. So, Pastor Annette is a bride of Christ. She is a loving daughter of God. She is a soldier and she's a servant that loves to serve women in all capacities. I happen to play the roles of wife, mother, pastor, and I have the professional role of the executive pastor of Calvary Redemption Center, which is located in Skokie, Illinois. And I happen also to be the founder of a women's ministry called Beauties of Eden and the founder of a social impact called Shalom Foundation, which exists to help rebuild the society's torn down infrastructure. In this season, I like to say that I live all things wellness and I advocate for all things wellness, especially to women who feel like they're stuck, they're depressed, they feel like they're overwhelmed with the darkness, to just receive light so that they can live an abundant and joyful life and live in liberty. So, in essence, that's who I am.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Ladies first. Now we have to see how the gentlemen are going to do it. So the gentlemen we are going to start with Uncle Teddy. Uncle Teddy is going to start, then Adultin will also introduce himself. All right.
Okay, I'm Edward Enswa. I'm a pharmacist, a registered pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for over 20 years.
I know,
And
right?
I have a passion to brainstorm how to solve problems. I like solving problems. I just look around to see how things can be done better, even eating, finances, whatever I can do to change, help people in their health decisions, what they can bring on board naturally to help them with disease state and all that. So I'm a father of three teenagers. I think it's the toughest time in my
Oh,
life, trying to come up with solutions how to get them motivated,
yeah.
how to get them online to be better than me.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on it, and I know with the help of God, we're gonna successfully, reap our labor, the high toils of our labor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Father of three. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Elder Otting, who is Elder Otting in his own words?
All right. Thank you for having me. First time on the show. I've watched the shows, and I happen to be a guest um, today. So first of all, I want to thank you for calling me on. My name, as you said, is Eda Otin, affectionately called. Now we have a pastor on there, so I have to mellow now. But yes, I'm an elder of the Church of Pentecost, also a practicing pharmacist as our brother Teddy, and very passionate. Well, Teddy and I have a lot of things in common. I also have three kids,
Mm-hmm.
also a couple in college and one following after some years. And I'm also very passionate with solving problems. That has actually led me to establish a channel on YouTube called Dr. Oteng, just Droteng, where I share a lot of my passion in terms of affecting lives with health and other things. I believe strongly that the human being is made to excel both physically, spiritually, and and financially in all three areas of our life. So I try to teach people to do that alongside trying to also better myself as a family man. And also, we have live shows on Sunday evenings on we call it the Life and Health Show. Also, teaching people about health with that passion that I have. So that is, in short, who I am.
Wow. So it looks like all of you are, very health conscious. You don't seem to have any challenges at this point, because some of us we are watching or we are talking to you today, we are struggling, like we are really struggling. And there's just so much you can do. I think it's just starting overall health wise for a lot of us in the diaspora who are living here. Either we are working night shifts, we are working multiple jobs, we have so many things that we are trying to bring on and do at the same time, and we really mean well to do the health, but somehow it's not becoming like the main thing or something we are focusing on until it's a bit too late. So let's start by talking about general health for blacks, for minorities. What are you seeing out there? Are we doing very well? I mean, if you are in the health, field, so you can, because if I say, oh, these are the statistics and all that, I mean, look like, some of us who did humanities, we are now trying to share the scientific things with you. But what are you seeing? Are we doing very well? Are we, making progress, or is there still a whole lot more that we can do when it comes to health for us as minorities? Ladies first. I guess this was another today fully.
You know, how my brain works is it tends to swing to another side than
Mm,
the average person, those that have encountered me. And so I needed to look at, when we're looking at the statistics and we're looking at minority, what exactly is the definition of a minority,
mm,
right?
mm.
And I think sometimes that becomes like veneers or blinders that we put on, and we look at them and not us. But I
Right.
believe that I always like to say that I don't like to be a generalist, but I like to look at individuals. So when it comes to health, I believe there is a quote right here to me that I look at every day. That success is more attitude than aptitude, right?
Mm.
That the definition of health, first of all, I've been, like Uncle Teddy had shared, I've been in the health care system as a health professional for over 20, this is my 22nd year, right? But I've come to realize that when we look at health, we tend to overgeneralize the definition. And so when we overgeneralize it, people tend to take ourselves out. When we look at just the statistics, we tend to take ourselves out. About 3 weeks ago, I was approached to do a documentary on healthy living. And when the person approached me to do this documentary, which should be coming out soon, they said, I've seen you teach about healthy living for a season now. Can we run a documentary to encourage people to eat well? I said, that's not what we need to talk about. Almost everyone that you pull, if you ask them, name food categories that are healthy and food categories that are not healthy, everyone, irrespective of where they dwell, they'll be able to tell you some things that are considered unhealthy to consume and some things that are healthy to consume. So it's not giving people information, it's looking for the gap. And in my personal opinion, health and health deficits happens when we don't personalize the definition.
Right. Right.
So in essence, to me, health is like success. It is the attitude. Do I wake up, irrespective of what I'm eating, do I wake up with energy? Do I wake up with excitement? Is my soul feeling excited and ready to face the day? Am I feeling spiritually lethargic? Am I feeling emotionally lethargic? Am I feeling physically lethargic? And if that is for me, irrespective of what I'm eating, how I'm exercising, what I'm not doing, then to me, it's not healthy for that particular individual. So, first of all, I want us to start off with what is health for an individual and then carry the conversation from there personally. So, that's how I would. So, thank you for that question.
Yeah. So what is health for you as an individual? I think that's a very, great way to, start as well. Uncle Teddy, your thoughts on that?
My thought is everybody has responsibility for their own life. And
Mm.
we all know ignorance of the law is no excuse. Recently, we've all been privileged with social media. We can access Google, we can ask Google everything. And you can just Google how many calories does Kinky have? I did that and I found out that Kinky has like 1,500 calories.
Whoa.
So I don't even try to eat 2 balls of Kinky. I'm
Mm.
trying to do half, but it's been very difficult. It's been very difficult to cut it to half.
Mm.
So I'm managing the one like that, and I will eat it maybe 4 times in a month or something,
Okay.
just to understand the knowledge out there which I'm acquiring. There's so much knowledge out there for us to be able to balance what we eat and what we put into our body. We should, as individuals, understand that our body is a perfect machine.
Mm.
Our health should begin with the food we put in. It's just like you have a car and you put in diesel, diesel instead of gas, and the
Mm.
car is malfunctioning. You put in a cheap oil and the parts aren't running properly. So eventually the car is going to fail. So food should be our first source of medicine. Our
Mm.
food is supposed to enhance our immune system so they can ward off all the microorganisms that attack it. So knowledge in what we eat is very important.
Mm.
Knowledge in our food choices is very important.
Mm.
Recently, I'm on an escapade of planting lemongrass all over my yard.
Wow.
Yeah, because I heard it wards off the insects. You can use it for tea. I'm starting to plant like fruits and shrubs like strawberry because all of these, the leaves can be used as tea, which
Mm,
are naturally antioxidants. So
wow.
all this knowledge out there, if we don't try to understand it
Mm-hmm.
and use it as part of our daily living, then that's when the program starts.
Right.
Your health is going to drain you financially because this doctor will look at you, post you to another specialist, post you to another specialist, post you to another specialist. Before you know, you have 5 specialists. And
Mm,
the cost becomes so burdening. And eventually, you can even buy the basic food needs you need. These doctors will be taking all your income, and now you can't afford the good food you are supposed to. So, all I'm saying is knowledge is power. For lack of knowledge, my people perish. That's what the Bible says. So
mm,
we need to understand some of this information out there. They are good. We need to understand that our body is first to be nourished and be taken care by the food we eat.
mm. Wow. I see. That's a pharmacist take on it. It's amazing because when we think about how our bodies work and what we are feeding it, I think it was Pastor Ned that last year or so when we had the health, he said that if you treat your body like a dumping place, then you can put any trash in there, right? And I hadn't thought of it like that, right? So when you're eating your burger, you're not thinking it's trash. You're just eating it because it's nice and tasty, only to find out that you're just not helping your body. Elder Ting, your thoughts on that, like health wise, in our community, in our lives. Why is it important? What is the take on it?
Well, it, just to be a little precise, what is health?
Mm-hmm.
What is health? Health is a state of physical and mental well being. And so for me, my take on health in our communities would be how you feel mentally and physically, emotionally, whatever pertains to your well being could be classified as your health. In
Right.
fact, even your financial status could be something that could, eventually come to be part of your health. Because if you are not financially sound, you eventually get certain things that will affect either your mental health or your physical health. So health is, in general, anything or the state, the measure of health is a state of well-being, mentally, socially, psychologically, of course, and physically, where I mean your body itself. And so for people in a community that we come from or that we belong, when we talk about health, we shouldn't just think about going to take medications or just going to see the doctors. It is a part of it. It is whatever makes you whole, whatever makes you feel great, whatever makes you excel, whatever makes your entire being become that which it's expected of you and expected of your creator, of course. And that is why I like that verse in 3 John 2, that, dear friend, my wish for you is that you prosper and be in health, or prosper financially, maritally, socially,
Mm,
whatever prosperity means to you, as well as your physical prosperity, as well as your physique, how your body is doing. And on top of that, making sure that your soul is also prospering. So, health is a holistic term that I think should be defined along those 3 lines.
mm. So then, does that mean that when we say we're unhealthy, or I'm not feeling well, we only think about in terms of just our physical side of things, right? And yes, like we said initially, health will be personal because everybody will have different places where they're not feeling well. Like I have someone saying that they're financially sick, So, you know, health wise, how do we make sure that when we are looking at our health, we are able to identify these pieces? Because it feels like, even though to what we said earlier, Pastor, that we have to make health personal, there has to be some general standardization so that we all have something we are working towards. So, what are those key elements that in my life, in your life, we all know that we have to be striving towards that type of thing, so that we know that when we get to, we are not feeling well, and we shouldn't, should we wait till we are not feeling well, really? Because it's like we focus on waiting for that time as opposed to being able to prevent it ourselves from getting there. So how do we change our minds from the, okay, we'll wait. I mean, I haven't been to my doctor for 5 years, but I don't feel anything, so I'm okay. And then I'm there, but I'm paying like health insurance, I'm paying all these things, but I just don't have the time to go. Is it really just because I don't feel anything, I'm okay? Is that what it means? Yeah.
I think we are creatures of habit.
Mm.
The word, so when you're not healthy, means there's you're ill, right? In
Yeah.
the general terms, that's what we think. And another term for ill is disease. You have a disease, right? But
Yeah.
disease is two words that have been put together. Easiness, that I'm comfortable, or I'm at dis-ease. So
Mm.
we turn to look at this person has a disease just because they're physically not doing well.
Right.
But what we forget, and that is what I'm big on, and I'm a certified holistic wellness coach, right? Is what you said, that we don't wait to the stage of diseaseness and then remedy. What I usually say is that a nation never waits on the day of battle to train their soldiers.
Mm.
You
Mm.
don't wait, and then there's war that has been declared, and then you look for people and say, who do we train to go and face this? It's the same thing with our well-being. The
Mm.
nation prepares its citizens and puts systems and strategies in place to ensure the well-being of its citizens.
Mm.
And so let's bring that concept to our individual selves, right? Is that I am a tripartite being who have been put here on earth to engage with a society.
Mm.
In order for me to feel that prevention of not being diseased and feeling a sense of easiness, which means I am healthy, I have to constantly every day think about my social wellness, the people that I'm interacting with. So you're asking, what are the components that we have to look at to
Mm.
ensure that we're healthy? Is
Mhm.
that I have to start off with me, and not
Mm.
just I'm waiting to be diseased in my physical body, but every day, just like the nation that prepares ahead of time before
Mhm.
the day of disease physically, that when I wake up every day, I'm making decisions and putting things in place to ensure that my tripartite being, and those that are not familiar with the word tripartite, means that we are spirits that have a soul that is encased in a body, which is the physical, right?
Mm.
And so when I wake up every day, the first layer is I have to make sure that that spirit is well so that it's not diseased. And in
Mhm.
order to gain that wellness, I go to my maker. I spend time with God because that's where he fills my spirit. Then emotionally, that's the where the soul dwells. I engage in things that gives me that satisfaction. And it starts off to me with the attitude that I start off with. Am I lethargic? Am I going to be waking up in the morning, starting off my day grumpy, complaining, murmuring?
Mm.
Because then I'm already putting my soul at a dis-ease. But David said, the man that was after God's own heart says, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. That rejoice has nothing to do with your physical state, your financial state, but it starts with your attitude.
Mm. Mm.
And we also know somebody just posted in there. So I live with that five key things that I check every day to make sure that I am wholly well, right? So
Right.
I look at the three things that I've talked about. I look at my social entity, the community or the network or the surrounding, my family, my friends. And I look to make sure that I'm nurturing it into wellness. And then the fifth element is financially, because I need to have a roof over my head. I need to have a place to stay. I need to have food on the table. And that is financial stability, financial wellness. So when I wake up, I'm looking at my spirit, my soul, my physical being. So my physical being, Uncle Teddy has talked on it, Elder Ting has touched on it a little bit. What am I feeding? There is a saying that you are what you eat. And we all only allude that to the food, physical food that we're eating. But you're also, what you're eating is what junk is people, words that are coming to you. Because that's feeding your soul. So your soul end up becoming diseased based on what you're feeding it. Financially, what are you engaging in? Gambling, things that are causing you to be financially diseased. Or are you making investments? Do you wake up every day thinking, how can I be financially well so that I don't wait on the day that they're coming for my mortgage and then I'm scrambling for coins? So that's my take on it.
Wow, 5 pillars. Uncle Teddy, how do we do these balancing thing? Because I see, I mean, I see where Person Ed is coming back. I also see someone asking the question about, okay, so I am struggling. I am more focused on the right now. I need money. I need financial wellness. So I'm working around the clock. I'm not sleeping that much, but it's okay. People have done it, and we'll have to come back to the sleep piece of it. People have done it, so I'm just going to keep going at it. And it's as if your body doesn't keep the score, right? So you just keep going and going and going, taking so much on and doing so much. How do we balance that? And we all seem to be at different points. We stand at the very end of the financial piece, or we come to the very end of the spiritual piece where it's like, oh yeah, we can eat everything and pray about it. And then, or we do all the physical activity, but it's almost like there needs to be a balance of all these things. Like, how do we get there?
Okay, to answer your question, we all need knowledge. Knowledge is everything because we as individuals operate at the level of our knowledge.
Right.
Somebody will have gallons of water in their house and they'll still be dehydrated because they don't have the knowledge that they need to drain the water. They want soda because that's what they know. That's what they know from their community, from their society. There are people you can't even tell them to drink water. And it's very unfortunate. So knowledge is everything.
Right.
The way we see people live and operate is the level of the knowledge they have. So I think our institutions and even our churches, wherever we come in groups, families, to be able to share these knowledges every time we find the opportunity. It's difficult even in one family home to get all the children on board. Don't drink soda, don't do this, don't do this. It's so difficult.
No, it's not
I
easy.
mean, I try to tell my family, okay, let's don't eat meat and whatever. And it's so difficult. I'm on my own. I'm on my own. I try to make lasagna. I will use veggies and they will eat it for one day and
That's
that's
it.
it. But use like ground beef, ground turkey or something and
No.
they are all in it. So the knowledge has to be a continuous effort. Even as pharmacists, even as nurses, individuals, whatever we know in our conversations, we should find a way to drift the conversation into how people eat and the things that can benefit you. Trust me, that will be the only time somebody will hear about good eating habits. Yeah. So it's knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Without the knowledge, even whatever Pastor Annette is saying is something she has known
Mm-hmm.
over the years. It's something she has learned and knowledge she has come to understand, and she's putting it into practice. And the other thing is, you can have the knowledge, and if you don't understand it, um, it won't help you. Some people fail to even take medication. But my thing is, if you didn't do your first assignment of doing eating well, and now the disease is in, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Now you are in a state where you can't go back. You need a medication. I
Mm.
mean, you can do a little of the medication and improve your eating habit, and then you come to wellness. You get your health back. But some people, even though they haven't eaten well, they still don't want to take medication. But I believe that God gives doctors and nurses and whoever the wisdom to come up with all this medication. So what if that is what is you need at a time to improve your health, then you should do it.
Mm.
This is all knowledge.
Right.
It's just like somebody who is sick and need blood transfusion and has a belief that I don't want blood because this is what I've been told. You have
Mm.
done your own research about it. It's something from a culture or something from family members that was imposed on you and you live by it. So it's knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. The more we seek knowledge about our health, the more we will find a balance. The
Mm.
more it will improve our finances, the more to improve our social life, our family relationship, and all that. So the knowledge is out there. It's up to us to find ways to pass it on, ways to receive it, ways to champion it, ways to market it.
Mhm.
Unfortunate thing is there are people out there who wants to make money selling us all the junk we don't need.
I know.
And that's even knowledge. If you know that people out there, these marketers are trying to get you, your money, your health, your everything, that's knowledge in itself. That was is going to protect you.
That's very true. You know, this week I saw this article that said by 2050, a billion of the population here will have diabetes. And
Yes.
I'm like, but we keep selling the things. Like this week, I was taking my daughter to camp, and then I saw we forgot breakfast, so we passed by one of the fast food place to get food, and they give her a sandwich. And oh, do you know what do you want for drink? It's soda. And I'm like, don't you have tea or something? But soda is what you're serving with the breakfast. You're giving the person a sandwich, and it's soda that is the option. And we are saying that a billion of people are going to be, having diabetes. So
Yes.
it just doesn't add up. When you see it, you see that the other people who are also trying to make money out of the system, and you have to get the knowledge you need to be able to
It's
take care
the
of yourself.
hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. So you have to know that this is what it is
Yeah,
before you can get yourself out there. Like we always talk about credit cards. We always talk about loans and all that. We always talk, but people still feel at ease to do that.
I know. I know. And I think let's ask you the question about balance in a different way. Like Dr. Vivian is saying something which I think you should see. Like you have diabetes. You need to work on it. Either you make some really aggressive things around your eating and exercise or things like that, or you take your insulin, which has to be part of it. Well, this person is not going to take it and then it's going to end up in stroke. So how do we as a community start getting people to think holistic health versus just focusing on this. And let's just put it out there, the spiritual side of things only, right? Because that is where we get into, I mean, it's a balance. It's also a very soft place because you we want you to pray, but you want to also go see the specialist as well. How do we
Right.
create balance?
Right. And this is where I would also blame some of the clergy. I don't even know if I should refer to all of them as clergy, but people going out there and, just telling people about what they have seen and spiritualizing, basic physical things about, human beings. If somebody comes to you that they are sick about for whatever reason, yes, I believe in prayer and, healing in the gospel, as Jesus did. But some men of God, and of course some women of God, since we have one woman of God, I'll have to be
Woman of
balanced
God.
here. um, just take the advantage of spiritualizing basic physical functions of the body. If somebody is aching and they complain that their leg is hurting or whatever is hurting, yes, pray for them. I would pray for you first, but then right after I'll tell you to go see your doc. The fact that when I prayed for you, you didn't get instantly cured doesn't mean God didn't hear me. God did. So you have to blame some of these things on people who have spiritualized everything that needs, physical solutions. So that is one. And so that is, if clergy or if the pastors and prophets are telling people to seek help from the right places, if it's a physical ailment, yes, pray all night, whatever, anoint, but after that, tell them, go see your doctor. Let me see your report after you see the doctor. If you don't, and you only want to get a solution from a spiritual sense, and of course, some disease may be cured instantly spiritually, and people just believe that is the only way to cure that diabetes, like a lady who brought that question is saying. Then other person who sees that may not see a doctor, may want to come to another prophet to be prayed for so that their ailment is also taken care of that way.
Right.
And so that is where the knowledge that Eddie was also saying comes in. So we all have to educate ourselves as people and know that that is not how it works. We have to balance, strike a balance, as our lady said. Seek for the spiritual things that are needed, but at the same time, let the physical solutions also be there. Nobody, wakes up and says that God has all the money. Of course, God has all the money. He created the heavens and the earth. He put the gold and the oil, everything under the earth. But his people have to still work. We don't walk around and say that my father made the whole thing, so I won't work. You still got to work.
Yeah.
Because physically, that's how he made us, to do physical things for physical reasons. So if you are sick, and especially those people who will watch or who are watching now, and all you are seeking for is prayer, you are missing it. Pray, please pray, but also seek for other sources of help, especially when I'm representing conventional medicine. Seek for help from the right places. Look for a doctor, look for a nurse, look for a pharmacist, wherever the access is easier for you, and make sure that your ailment is taken care of that way. So that is one. The other thing is the attitude of people. Some people today know, but they have an attitude of "I don't care." That's what I call it. It's the mentality that everybody will die, and people say it will be able. You too, we are tired. Why all this? After all, a break after all, everybody will die. Why should I go through this? No, that's not how life should be faced. If you face life having that idea that, oh, after all, everybody will die, so I just do the things that I want anyway. My doctor says I should come every 3 months, but after all, what? Then you obviously are calling yourself to failure, because you don't do the things, you are not balanced, I should say. You are doing things the way you want it, not how God wants you to. So we have to, have a better attitude towards the things that concerns, especially our health. And we are talking about eating healthy. Eddie has said a lot, very, very passionate about that, using his family as an example. But how many of us, how many people are watching who leave this show and go back to the same old things? Binging on ice cream before you go to bed. or eating those oily foods. It's not that they know,
You
but
know.
their attitude is not changing. That I don't care attitude, that it doesn't matter attitude, that if it works, it works, that attitude. But people who don't have, and this will lead me to a point where I call people who don't have good stewardship of their bodies. If you don't know that what you have been given is going to come a point that you have to give account of, then you live your life that way. Because one day, God will ask you, I give you this machine, this body to use on earth, to walk through this vast expanse of my creation and do good. But you cut your life short because you just lived anyhow. You didn't care. Are you being a good steward of this body? If we think that way, that we are going to give account of what God has given us, the life God has given us, the body, the help that God has given us, then we will be a little more careful about the way we treat ourselves, the kinds of foods we eat, and overall perspective of life, not just for you, your wife, and your kids, but God will ask you about what you did with this body that He gave you, how you treat it, how much value you place on it. You
Mm,
know, how much value you place on this body that He has given you. So that also means that we have to be responsible for the things that we have to do. You cannot just let things happen the way they may. We all know, and I'm pretty sure most of us know, that as we age, there are certain things you can wait for them to happen. If you're a
mm-mm,
black person, at the age of 45, you are required to have a colonoscopy done. It used to be 50 for all. For black people, minorities, because of the rate of colon cancers, now the recommendation is that you have to get colonoscopy done. If your
mm.
doctor doesn't ask you, you still have to ask and get it done. You have insurance, you don't have insurance, that is not your business. Your business is take care of what God has given you. You don't have insurance, yes, go and look for there's the service to be done. Don't be scared about the cost because it will be paid for. The good thing about this place is if you need to do something, they will take care of you before they bring you the bill. Let that care be
Absolutely.
taken. Yeah. And then think about the cost later. But people don't think that they are going to be worried about how they treated their body. So they would rather go and work and work and work and work and neglect all those other things. But watch out, people. God is going to ask you one day, did you care enough about this body that I gave you? Some people die right after birth. He spared you. And now you are of age, you are able to think and make the right decisions, and you are just living anyhow. It doesn't work like that. You're going to answer for that. So that's what I would say concerning striking a balance in your life.
Mm. I am flawed. I think this stewardship thing, I've thought of it, but I haven't thought of it in terms of, your health stewardship. I've thought of it more in terms of financial stewardship, where we know that the money doesn't belong to us. We have to be stewards of it. But then bringing it right now to our bodies and to our health, that it's not even yours. You've been giving a lease of life. And this is something that you have to glorify God in your body, this
Mhm.
body. I'm like, oh, wow. That is eye opening. So thank you for sharing that. That really hits home for me. Like, it's eye opening for us to think about our bodies and know that we will be giving up. We don't have 5 lives. It's not a game, that we have 5 lives, that when you die this one, you come back and do another one. It's not like that. This is it. This is all we have. And if you're in the 30s and your 40s, I have someone in his 50s now to do colonoscopy. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. He goes to the doctor say, you have to do it, because of, nope, I'm not doing it. And because of that, the person hasn't been to the doctor for about 2 years now, right?
Wow.
And I'm like, what are you running from? Because we are used to, if I don't know, it doesn't hurt me. Or I don't care type of thing. But we are getting up to the top of the hour. So I see a lot of you are on here. So Gloria, hello. And welcome. If I did not see you, just say hi in the chat. I want to acknowledge you as well. But we are talking about these. I mean, I wish we had a longer time. I think the next time we have a panel, we should extend the time a little bit. But one of the things that I felt we need to just talk about is a piece that we skipped over quickly, the sleep, right? So a lot of our people work nights, and it's sometimes what it is. You have to work nights and all that. But is a very challenging shift for a lot of us. And it does impact us in the long run. And even for those of us who don't work nights, somehow, like I'm not able to shut down completely by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And sometimes I'm going all the way up to midnight and I'm not working a night shift, right? So now that we started talking about this a bit more for this month, I've realized how guilty I am with even putting my phone down at a certain point and saying, no, I'm not answering calls, because then I have all these other things that are being asked at different times of the night. I'm like, well, okay. So, anyway, let's talk about sleep. How important is that to our overall health? Do we even need it? Should we bother about it? Or, like how many people say, it's okay if you can get a little bit of sleep, you'll function, you'll be fine. Zanet, sleep.
Thank you, Elder Oting, for emphasizing the importance of the body as a steward. For me personally, again, Uncle Teddy said something that the reason why I've made some of these changes is because of information and knowledge that has been gained. And Hey, Pastor Tina, I want to commend you for doing this. I believe that these conversations, we have to have them. We have to have them in our churches. We have to have them in our homes around our tables. We have to have them in various organizations that we belong. It is very, very important. I had been in the healthcare field for a while, but I believe that conventional medicine, we have to take the medication, we have to go see the doctors. But when it comes to taking care of our body, I believe that I was very poor at it from that professional aspect, right? Because we want to fix the problem, but we don't go to the roots to find out what got us here to begin with. And we have to understand that there is a root cause to everything that we do. And so I want us to hammer that over and over again. There is a quote that I want to quickly read. It says, this is the person that, like Elder Oting is talking about, the person that has that nonchalant attitude. And he says this, lately, I've been wondering why we go to so much trouble to postpone the unavoidable and prolong the pain of being alive. So this person has the attitude that I'm going to die anyway. So why prolong it? Why not enjoy what? I mean, I'm going to die. So why not enjoy the right there is some of the ways that I've heard it. But when you understand that someday you're going to pay a ticket and you're going to account for the right there, you begin to just hold on to how you approach it. And I think it's very, very important. I believe that if we don't take anything out of here, we take that, what is my attitude? What is my attitude towards health? What is my attitude towards eating? What is my attitude towards this vessel that God has given me to use here on earth that someday I'm going to make account for? And I really, really want us to hammer that on there. Sleep. This is what I believe when it comes to sleep. Various research have shown, right? We know, and if you don't know, hopefully you would go and research this, that our bodies are made up of cells that regenerate, right? So some die, but then the reason why we keep going is that new cells come up. Most of the research that has been proven shows that cell regeneration, majority or greater percentage of cell regeneration occurs when we're sleeping. That's why babies sleep more than a newborn baby sleeps more than the time that they're awake, because they are going through that rapid metamorphosis of cell regeneration and growth. So unless, I'm going to leave it this way because I like to give people as strict as I am, unless you want to die early, unless you want your cells to age, then you should stay up all night and do what you think it's so important that keeps you up at night. But for me, when I gained that knowledge and when I gained that understanding, it was a no-brainer for me. It was non-negotiable anymore, because I want to be around long enough for my children's children. I want to be around. I don't have the attitude that I'm going to die anyway, so why not speed my way there? I want to be around. I want to make a global impact. I want to make a
Mm.
positive change in my community. I want to be a light for today that I am here on earth. Now, let's look at creation and then calculate why it's important to sleep. When before the invention of electricity, which I'm very grateful for the invention of electricity, people were forced to sleep at a certain number of hours because there
Mhm.
was no light and you had no other option. That's how God created it to be. When the sun goes down, you and I should be winding down so that our bodies can regenerate and grow and give us the energy and the light and the life that we need for the next day when the light comes up.
Wow. Wow. Sleep. Uncle Teddy, sleep.
Sleep is very important, but in this hectic life, sometimes you get yourself caught up in less than 8 hours.
Mm.
And the fortunate thing is we all have 24 hours. Some days are easy, some days are rainy. So you can always sleep in to make up. Sometimes it doesn't really like work for everybody to do that 8 hours sleep or more and all that. But anytime there's an opportunity to put down your phone, to put away all the distraction, you can catch up. You
Mm.
can equal what is normal. Some days I don't wake up early. Some days the children have to go somewhere. I'll get just like a couple of hours of sleep. But when the time is available and I have to sleep, I sleep till I can't sleep anymore. You know? So I think even if it's 6 hours and I can't sleep anymore, I feel satisfied. I'm not in a rush to like feel groggy and all that. I want to catch up. So, like we started, balance is the game.
Mm.
We have to have a knowledge and understanding about balance. That in all our dealings, we will have balance. When it's time, we have balance. When it's sleep, we have balance. When it's nutrition, we have balance. So we
Mm.
have to increase our knowledge in every aspect of our life. We have to increase our conversation in every aspect of our life. We have to increase our understanding of this life. So, knowledge, conversation, communication, and understanding is what is going to get us to what we are. As we speak right now, I mean, we've learned so much from uh, Lady Pastor Annette. We've learned so much from Eldorton. We've learned so much from Lady Pastor Tina and maybe myself.
And
You know?
yourself.
So the communication helps. You can't succeed all by yourself. Nobody
Mm.
is going to succeed all by themselves. But we should make our conversations very productive. Instead of talking about Hollywood and even talking about things that doesn't benefit us, we should make our conversations very productive.
Mm.
We should take our phone and Google the things we eat and see the benefits we get. That's something we can do easily. Just
Mm.
like I saw that one kinky ball of kinky is 1500 calories. I'm like, geez, I should strive to just do half a kinky, and a lot of stew. I, I
Mm.
I came to find the benefit of okra. I came to find the benefit of a whole almond nuts and all these nuts.
Mm.
So I'm eating like naturally. I don't have to go and harass my wife to make me palm nut soup or anything like that. I can just put some leaves and nuts
Say
together.
that again, Uncle Teddy. We need a repeat of that.
Yeah, I'm not even asking for Nkatsumkwa or Abenkwa or jollof rice. When it's made, I enjoy it, but I try not even to ask for it. I just
Mm,
do my leaves and my nuts and cut in some um, celery and what cucumbers and all that. So that's what I'm heading now. You
mm,
know, our food tastes good, but I'm trying to kill my taste buds. That's my mission. And it all comes from knowledge.
yeah.
So knowledge is what we need right now. Knowledge is what we should share, even in our daily conversation.
Mm.
Whoever you meet and there's a conversation, just center it around nutrition and health and all that. And you can pass it on. You'll be surprised how many people don't read or don't hear anything about the things they have to put into your body. And that's the main ingredient the body needs to make us healthy and live longer.
Amazing. So we are almost at the top of the hour, but I have a question that just came to me. It looks like most of us, I mean, here, I mean, you guys have it easy. It seems like the healthy living thing, you having, like, you're not struggling with it. So you're not struggling with it. So I mean, Adati, you have to help me understand what is it that drives you to make this look so easy? What is it? Because it's not easy. Like, kill the taste buds, especially if you are used to eating certain things. I check it, wherever you're coming from. You've grown up with a certain, taste bud that is just, I mean, this is it. And it's hard to reinvent it and then take something else. And I know I'm supposed to be a steward, and of course you have all of us in our churches, everything, but ain't going to change anything when it comes to really getting in there and making the change. What drives you? What is your anchor that almost like gets you grounded to say, you know what, I want to eat this so bad, but you know what, there's a higher thing, there's a better you know motivation for me.
Thank you. So, just before I get to that, though, let me add a little bit to the sleep also.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
yeah. Um, Research has also found that for adults, if we sleep 6 to 8 hours or even 6 to 7 hours a day, that would be good. So if you are getting 6 hours continuously and sometimes eight, sometimes seven, you're good. And when you get into less than six, that is when it is not that good. And then also, we also have to realize that it's not just that if you don't sleep, you don't get your cells rejuvenated, like our lady pastor was saying. Not only do you not get rejuvenated in terms of cell regrowth and cell division and stuff, but also you also eventually may have mental health issues. You become anxious, you become easily irritable. So sleep, though
Mm,
being physical, may end up showing forth in the way you act, the way you talk to people, the way you even relate to your husband or your wife, all because you're not getting enough sleep. And then
yeah.
lastly, and lastly on sleep also, some people too oversleep. So we have to go to the other extreme too. Some people, every chance they get, they are sleeping. And also research also suggests those people are also more prone to being obese and also being diabetic. So if you're also getting more than 8 hours every day, that's why you stay home and let your husband do the doubles. Then watch out because you're also on the other extreme. All right. So with
Wow.
that being said, I don't think Eddie, though Eddie is making it sound like it's easy, for me at least, I don't think it's that easy. I want to be upfront because I like my fried yam. You,
Mm,
you see what I'm saying? uh, uh, but I know where he's going. He's trying to make it that interesting so that we all get in. But I'm pretty sure that there are certain things that he would love to eat still. It's a choice that he has decided to make. And that is where we're going. You have to make that conscious effort to choose to live and eat right. Because
mm,
if you don't, the easy one is to just fall on whatever is there and then eat. I have had times now my wife is on board and everything, but prior to that time, I've had times that if I tasted too much salt, I wouldn't eat, and she would get mad because she would have spent all this time cooking, and then I taste a little bit more salt, and I'm like, I'm not eating the food, which was a little harsh, for having a wife cook and then your husband come, I'm not eating because that soup is too salty for me. Not salty for everybody, but because I want to cut down my salt and make sure that I don't get hypertensive, it's too salty for me or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is not easy in that regard. You have to make that choice. There are times you're going to bed like Eddie's. I'm pretty sure if Eddie ate only leaves and cucumbers, like he's saying, he's not going to go to bed like he's really full. He's going to go to bed feeling like a little hungry.
Mhm.
Something may be asking you, try this, man.
I
You got
know.
some crackers, some cheese, grab them. But he has made that conscious choice because he knows the benefit. So look at the benefit that you get at the end of everything. And if you look outside of what you are going to miss now into the future and say that, you know what, this little choice that I'm making, even if it's going to add 1 year of healthy life, not just long life, but being here and being healthy, being able to walk around, not being stricken with stroke, not being stricken with a heart attack or anything, but
Right.
just being able to walk around, not being dependent. If not eating, those foods is going to just make you do that. You look at that and let that be your reward. So you know what? I'm going to skip eating too much fried yam. I'm going to skip too much fufu. I'm going to skip eating too much kinky, like he said, because of the calories, because I want to make sure that I don't eventually get into diabetes or get too much belly or anything like that. So yes, it may sound easy, but I also want to sound a caution out there that we are not excellently doing it like you're saying. We are all trying, and if you feel that you can try, then come on in the journey and let's try together. There are certain days you may fail. You may come home and you'll be so much in need of something that you know is wrong. It's okay that if that just one day you break the rule and need that, it's fine. After that, go back to your regularly scheduled healthy meals. And so that is what I would say. It's not that easy, but look at the rewards at the end and then make that healthy choice and know that you are not alone. Other people are also trying the same things you are trying to do for better health.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you all for joining us. At least try. At least try. You see, I've
Right.
been on this 1 month thing with Pastor Net here. She's doing this wellness thing for this month. And you can ask, I haven't posted anything because I've been amazed at some of the things that people are doing and the things they are eating, that I just have to go and try some first and see how that will work for me. But at least try. I'm trying.
Right.
Cut down sugar, cut down the salt, cut
Yeah.
down, the time in the night that you are just browsing for nothing and put your phone down and see. At least try.
Yeah.
Try, because one day you also get to account and say that, okay, I tried it. I did not, just take the ride for nothing.
Mm.
So this is a good conversation. I think you should share with someone if you haven't. If you're still looking at doing something active, we want you to join us with this 5K walk. Take the challenge. At least try to walk a bit this month. Cultivate the habit of walking, getting up from your seat, and eat. Dr. V is saying that eat quinoa, cut down the starch. Whatever you can do, the little bits and pieces here and there, it all adds up. This month, our book of the month that we are using is called Tiny Habits. Last year, we did Atomic Habits. This month, we are doing Tiny Habits. And it's so interesting to see that the little things, and sometimes I get discouraged because I'm doing the little things. I'm like, I'm not seeing any movement at all. you know but don't give up yet. Like we said, we are trying. We are trying. So keep on trying, keep on doing the good things that you know you should be doing. And I believe that we will all make an impact. We will live long, we'll enjoy the life that we have, and we'll be able to serve our generation in a better way. Before we go, I'm going to give each one of you a minute to just share with us what are your thoughts as we leave this place till we get together again and we talk about this. What are some of our takeaways that we should go with and just think about it or implement starting today, not waiting for to see you next year. So the next year when we meet again, we can say, okay, I took this step, based on what we talked about this year. Ladies first.
Ladies first. Ladies first,
I'm
always.
giving the free ticket.
So this is what I'm going to share. It's never easy. The journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. How did I get here? I gained the information and then I tested it out. So what quickly practical steps that helped me get here, and I haven't arrived yet where I'm going, is that this is how I started. I gained the information, and we've all gained that information today.
Mhm.
But again, because of our cultural backgrounds and our traditions, we get stuck in our ways. So our palates are used to eating the fufu, the kenke, and all that stuff. Let me tell you, I'm speaking from a Ghanaian perspective. When I came to gain that knowledge, what I realized is that majority of the food that we're eating, we're just eating it to fill our stomach and just gratify ourselves. Why am I saying that? Because we cook our soup for 2 to 3 hours, every nutrient is killed out of it right off the back. So nutritionally level, even though we think we're eating that stew, we've killed all the micro and the macronutrients that are in it because we've overcooked it. So start off by doing this. What I started off is I didn't completely eliminate everything that my taste palette is used to,
Mhm.
but I started incorporating one meal a day with something that I've heard. Again, we're trying.
We're
Something that
trying.
I heard was good, so I tried it. So if
Mhm.
I'm eating 3 Ghanaian meals a day, I started off swimming my African people. I started off by saying, okay, how about I replace my Tom Brown and my rice water and my cocoa with extreme lots of sugar with a smoothie
Mm.
like that. So I would still eat my kenke for lunch and still eat my fufu for dinner. That's not what I was doing, but I'm giving an example.
Right.
Replace one meal a day and see how it goes. That's the first step. The second step is I'm freely going to share a framework that I use for my coaching clients, which is God gave every single human being, He's no respecter of persons, 24 hours. This is, in my opinion, how I've worked my 24 hours to make sure that I am living a well balanced life for myself, my community, and the globe at large. Is that I've divided that 24 hours by three.
Mm.
888, and I call it the ratio for champions. 8 hours, the first 8 hours I dedicated to sleep, and then 8 hours for family, fun, and everything else, social engagements, and then 8 hours for work. I know I was a nurse, I worked 12-hour shifts. So I know realistically, some people work 12 hours, some people work 16 hours. Brother Teddy has explained that to you. You catch up on the days that you're off. So that's the 8 hours. And then dedicate 8 hours to activities that's going to make you reading your Bible, meditating, going for walks, exercise, and then spending time, quality time with your family. That will help you to start off the journey and then build it from there. The last thing I want to say is everything that you yourself, again, it's very individualistic. So somebody when they deny themselves of that fried yam, they're going to be miserable. And remember, it's also soul. So if you're miserable, it's not helpful,
Mm.
right? So this is what I would say. List in your own individual self. List the top 10 food that you know is good for you. It's not you've tried it, you know, you've heard. And then top 10 food that you come to your mind as fast as you can that's bad for you, and then start doing this. Take 1 week and eat all the food that you know is bad for you. And every day journal. How does that make you feel? And then take another week and eat all the food that you know it's good for you and journal. That way it becomes your individual. It's not what Annette is telling you. It's not what Elder Ting is telling you. It's not what Brother Teddy's telling you. What have you discovered for yourself? And when I did that, I realized when I'm eating the fufu, the banku and everything, I have no energy and I'm wasting the 24 hours that God has given me just feeling sorry for myself. And I chose that's not how I want to live my life. And that is how I started the journey. That's my final words to you. God bless you.
So start your journey somewhere, somehow. Replace a few things and do it. I am with you. Look, if you are struggling, I'm right next to you. We are in this together. Okay. But we are going to get there. Just don't give up yet, Uncle Teddy.
Okay, at this point, I'll just say all of you just follow Pastor Net
Yes.
Follow her, like her, share.
Like her, follow her on Facebook. And
Yeah, I'm
that is
going to
so
do the
true.
same.
She's doing this whole 1 month thing for free, and a lot of people did not participate.
Then we're
You
going
know?
to follow Dr. Tin too.
Yes, follow Dr. Ting on
Like,
Facebook.
share,
Like and
and what?
share. Absolutely.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, that one. That's what we are going to do because they have it all the information
They have the
we
filler.
need, all the
Yeah.
knowledge. These people have done the research
Yeah.
and they are living it. And I'm going to also improve my game, So it's all about knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. There's something which is very, since Lady Tina presented the last mentorship. Mentorship, the path that people have traveled and they are sharing it, you can't disregard it.
Right.
If you are interested to be what you are planning to be, then seek a mentor who is already traveling that path. These people are doing it, and that is part of the knowledge thing I'm talking about. It's all about knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Google the foods you are eating, see the benefits, see the calories they give to you. Even the hot dog, Google it and see how it's made. And if you don't feel disgusted to leave it alone, then you have a problem. So this is how we're gonna do it. We are all going to Google the stuff that has once entered our bodies, and we're now going to know the consequences. I think that's a good starting point for all of us to know what to drop off and what to invite into our nutrition habits.
Thank you so much, Uncle T. Well, Dr. Ting, you have the last words as we wrap up today.
Thank you so much for having me. Again, I'm privileged and I'm honored because your platform is huge. I've been following you for a long time, and I know God is using you to achieve a lot. So I'm happy that today I get to be part of this great forum. And as far as my closing remarks, I would say, it's been said earlier, any small beginning is what you need. I actually posted a video just this morning talking about how small healthy steps can lead to greater impact overall. So do not be thinking that that little thing you do is going to not make any difference. Just start small, and eventually you see the benefits, and that will even motivate you to do more. But that being said, I will also suggest that for those who are trying to cut back and do stuff, you can just start with portion sizes. If it is so hard to stop eating the fufu or the kinky or the thing that you know is really not good, you cannot start with eating half of it or maybe a smaller portion of it, maybe a quarter of it, just to still feel the taste. But to completely say that you're ignoring us is not the way to go. So start with smaller portions and then eventually cut off. And then also, if you are trying to achieve any huge weight loss, or if you want to, maybe turn around your situation, you have diabetes and treatment is not going right, begin to try not just the portion sizes, also try intermittent fasting. Try, skip some meals. Some of us have so much stored energy. If we don't eat for 1 week, we'll be fine because our belly fat it was just going to melt and feed us through the days that we are not eating. So intermittently skip some meals. Of course, if you are diabetic, you have to be careful not to do it right off because your sugar can go down drastically. But work with somebody like a pastor, a lady pastor coach who will guide you, or even with me, or whoever you can find your hands on, and slowly skip some meals. Maybe skip breakfast and have brunch, and don't eat it all together. Some people will skip breakfast, but they will add the breakfast to lunch and eat them too.
Brunch.
So it's basically the
A
same
combo.
thing.
It's a combo.
It's a combo. They make the combo. They eat huge even though they skip one, that's not what we're talking about. But skipping a little bit and making sure that you get there. And last point that I also want to say, which I'm very passionate about, because we've seen some people unfortunately pass away in our community
Mhm.
with certain diseases that could have been prevented.
Oh
But
yeah.
unfortunately, when they were found too late. And so if you are watching and you're a woman, just be on top of your preventative care, basically. You'll make sure you're doing your pap smears, you're doing your breast self exams
Mm.
every month. You're going for your, breast mammogram when you have to. And then all the other preventative care things, like we already alluded to, colonoscopy and anything else that you need. Some people don't even know their blood pressure. They don't know their blood glucose. They don't know. They just go to the clinic or the hospital when they are sick. You have to know your blood pressure. You have to know your blood glucose level. You have to know your cholesterol. Those three numbers should be on your fingertips because the three of them will tell us a lot about how you're going to feel in the future. Whether you're going to get a stroke, you're going to get sick, you're going to get heart attack, you're going to get diabetes. Those all it's easy to get them. So preventative, prevent things before they happen. So that's what I'm going to leave you with is let's look at preventing issues before they become huge by seeking help and asking questions at our doctor's visits, making sure that we do the right things, and then starting small with smaller portions and skipping some meals. Again, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. I believe that we've learned a lot, and we will continue our conversation with part two, healthy living, next week. So join us, make some time with us. I know today we went over our time, but there was no way I was going to cut this short because I had too many amazing, insights coming that I wanted us to get to hear everything. But if you need someone to walk alongside with you, I'm going to, put an offer out there for you. Maybe you are on the verge of diabetes, you're on different, cups of things, and you need someone to just help you, walk alongside with you. I'm going to offer, and I haven't told them, but I'm offering Pastanet for you for a free wellness, coaching session. Maybe we can help you, with a few more, but I want you to, if you're interested, send me a message. I want you to get some help and start talking about it. And maybe it's not too late to join this month's group that she's put together as well. So please reach out and reach out now. Don't say, "Oh, do it tomorrow." When we are done, even as we are on there, send a message. You can send it through Facebook, wherever you want to send it. And we'll definitely connect you and make sure that you are just starting today, because the essence of the conversation is that today, this evening, your dinner, whatever, this is where it starts. Going to bed early, it starts today. All those things we talked about, it's today. And if you also want to partner with Adulting, let me know. Or you can find him on Facebook. He's very visible. Pastanet is out there. She's very visible as well. Please, please, please make a step today. Just one step of reaching out to someone. You'll be surprised at having an accountability partner. So as much as I'm not posting anything, my food, sometimes when I'm
I'm
advising.
coming after you that you're not posting and sharing.
I know. I ate my food before I started, I'm like, oh, I was supposed to have taken this nice salad and shared it, but I ate it and I'm like, okay, I'll do it the next time. And then I'm at work and I forget. But I mean, you will be surprised that just having someone holding you accountable, it is in your mind. And you know you have to get up, you have to walk, you have to exercise. It's very different from doing it alone. We have been built to have a village, to have a community. Let's use it. Let's make sure that we are engaging and taking advantage of the people that we get to meet, like these amazing people right here. So thank you again for joining, and we'll see you next week. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you for having
Bye
us.
bye.
Bye, everybody.